Welcome back to the Spoiler Kings. It's Halloween, guys.
Oh yeah.
Gotta talk about it. I was excited. I know Derpy was excited. I know all you guys are excited. Hocus Pocus 2. They're back. The Sanderson sisters. How'd you guys like the movie, man?
You know,
Oh, you want to get right into it?
Yeah, I want to go right. Let's jump.
Right into it?
Yeah.
Okay. Go for it, Brandon.
it was exactly what I expected. It delivered exactly what I expected. You know, like we've said so many times, the month of Halloween, I'm just expecting fun. This was a fun time. This was a very fun, entertaining Halloween themed time, and that's exactly what I expected. I had fun with it. I'd say the 29-year wait was worth it. Yeah, it was a fun ride. It was a fun ride. Hour and 40-minute ride.
Yeah, it was a good time.
The Sanderson sisters, Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy still played off each other just as well as they did all those decades back. It's like they didn't skip a beat. Yeah. And you could tell through her performance, Bette Midler's been waiting for this. You know, there's a reason she's always gone on record and said in interviews that the first one was the most fun she's ever had making a movie, because it really shows.
You think of the movie, you think of Bette Midler. I mean, that's just what it is. You think of her first.
Yeah. She is Hocus Pocus, basically. Yeah. I did like the three teenager characters. Dare I say, maybe a little bit more than Max, Danny, and Allison from the original. I know that might sound a little blasphemous since they're the OG crew, but there's a
they win because they have the cat that talks.
Say what?
They have what was his name?
What is his name?
But a lot of problems could have been solved in the original if Binks would just talk.
Binks.
Yeah, Binks. Situations.
Yeah.
I liked that they didn't like shove the whole virgin subplot.
He's just like, why would they only have one candle?
Yeah,
it's just like, it was so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good.
I had fun with it. It was a really fun time.
What do you think, Tank?
Yeah. I'm there, man. I was the same. I loved it. I thought it was so good. It felt like a true sequel. You know what I mean? Like it. Because people forget what the first one was. And I know you guys did a review on it. It's corny, over the top, cheesy, like this like a fun, goofy time for kids. You gotta remember, it's for kids. You know what I mean? Like you have the zombie guy walking around and stuff like that, and him losing his head. And they bring that back. So it was like I felt like they brought a lot back that was there 29 years ago, but it also like updated it with some of the newer stuff. With like their brooms, for instance. I thought that was amazing. Because the original one was
a vacuum cleaner.
The vacuum cleaner with a broom,
a mop.
A broom, a mop, and a vacuum cleaner.
So obviously we get the broom again because Bette Midler is the main one, and then we get a Swiffer, a jet Swiffer, which was funny. But then what's the new vacuum? No one has a vacuum anymore. They have Roombas. And I thought her on them was hilarious. I know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll get into what other people are thinking about it, but I thought that was so funny because she's like surfing. I think at one point she even says cowabunga, which is it was so stupid, but it was like so funny because it made no sense. But it was like, okay, it's like surfboards kind of thing. But I thought that was perfect, And then she's like, oh, they have mind of their own, which is what people will say who have Roombas. They're like, oh yeah, they kind of do what they want. And they were their own kind of little characters in the movie as well, which was
like my children.
Yeah, like her little pets almost, So I don't know, but I just thought it was exactly what I expected, like something like Brandon, and I went corny, over the top, silliness, and this is what it was. I think with maybe better graphics, So yeah.
Oh, one more thing. I did like that they showed a more sympathetic side of the Sandersons, particularly Winifred. I liked that.
Uh,
And I like
yeah.
I liked that. And I like that they went into a little more of their backstory from the beginning. Like the opening 10 minutes, I thought were great. Also,
no, you're done because you're gonna take all my stuff before I can say it. You just took all my stuff. I was like, dude, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah, go for it.
I was glad we got the Sanderson sister because I think the backstory was the thing that made the movie work.
Yeah,
because it wasn't just a copy and paste. It was an actual sequel. They had reasons to do stuff. They brought new characters, and it all made sense. And then they had that Queen Witch. That was so cool. And then understanding how they learned things, and even that the other witch was still around. Though the Sanderson sisters were gone, she was still around. She was there before them, and she's there after them. All those things made sense because now what you've done is allowed us to, if everyone loves this movie, you can get a Hocus Pocus 3 because we have other candles, we have other characters. You know, that doesn't matter if they're a virgin or not, even though she was, but they didn't hit you over the head. But they really hit you over the head with her being a witch and having that witch power. And I thought that was also good too. So it brings what happened with the Sanderson sisters and having that. And brings into the modern day saying, when you turn 16, this could happen to you. You could become a witch. And what we see now as a witch is different than they saw in the 1700s, 1800s, or 1790s, whatever. I thought that was really good, a really good combination for it. And as you said, the movie worked because they brought all those elements in.
Yeah.
It just wasn't just one thing. It wasn't just a copy and rinse and repeat, but it was new stuff with enough nostalgia, along with a good story that made sense. And that was me and Brandon's whole point when we said when we talked about the first one. I hope the second one makes sense, and it did.
It expanded on things. It did what a sequel should do. Yeah. And I like that they also showed more of the Sandersons doing more kind of witchy stuff and kind of because really all we saw of them was like Winifred with her Palpatine lightning, which was cool, and doing stuff with her book. But I resurrecting Billy Butcherson, I like that they showed like a couple more kind of powers from.
Did it really resurrect him, or he just never went to sleep?
He never went to sleep
for 29 years.
Oh no, I'm talking about in the first one when she resurrected.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
No. He even said he was asleep, and it was basically like the 29 years between the first one and this one was just a few minutes to him.
He woke up. He was like, why are you here? What's going on?
Again? Yeah. One thing. So I watched this. We did a watch party, and we did it with Derpy. So shout out to Derpy for hosting the watch party.
Hey,
we I don't got my soundboard. I gotta fix that. But why I think I paused it a few times, and I paused it because I can send it to my TV so I can watch it with my girlfriend. So we went up watching that, and she was even saying at the end she goes, "This is a better like sister love story than Frozen." She goes, "This is like a dark one," and she goes, "And it felt more like sisterly love." Because it's not all like, I love you too. It was more like, you're a dumbass. You're a dumbass too. Like, don't say that to me. But at the end, the love is still there. So
he had all the power in the world. She was the most powerful witch ever. Yeah. Gave it up because it didn't matter because I didn't have my sisters there. Yeah. So I complained about them, but because you saw the backstory, you understood how much you thought they loved each other, but you really understood how much they loved each other because they got into this whole problem because you tried to take their sisters away from her. Mm-hmm. That was such a big thing, and then now she has all the power that she's been looking for. And once again, try to take her sisters away. I would rather die with them. I'd rather be with them than have all the power in the world. That's I almost had a tear. I was like,
it was a really good ending.
It showed Winifred in a more sympathetic light because in the first one notoriously kind of framed it like she couldn't stand her sisters.
Yeah.
But
now you understand. Like it's the older sister. She's just the older sister who loves them.
Yeah, just being the boss kind of thing.
it showed her in a more sympathetic light.
Yeah.
So, if they do make Hocus Pocus 3, and hopefully if they do, hopefully it's not another 29-year wait.
I don't think they'll still be here.
Maybe that's something that could be explored more. Maybe they'll show them in even more sympathetic. Oh, maybe they're not so bad kind of light.
Or
I don't know.
Maybe they have a 16-year-old candle thing, and they have 3 girls do it again because they're sisters. Like, they're not real sisters, but they really are sisters together. And Hocus Pocus 3 is going to be about having a coven and how to really create one, and watching them show someone else, the new age, how to do it.
Yeah, so it's not about the Sanderson sisters; it's more about the new,
Exactly.
the new
how to get that from them, and they're going to teach us how they got their thing together and how to really be real true sisters.
Yeah. Another thing that I really liked was, I know you said like if it made sense, and that was one thing I'm like, how are they going to bring them back? And they did it really, really well with what's his name? Gibson, I think his name, or Gilbert. Yeah, with Gilbert. And it's just like, oh, he was there, he saw them, and he became a fanboy and wanted to bring them back. And I was like, and then Book helped him do it, which is even better. I was like, of course. Then he's in their old house and he has Book, and he understands Book, so he strapped it down. And I was like, oh, this it makes sense. It's not overly complicated. You need to go through multiverse or anything stupid. Very simple. It worked.
It felt very simple. It was an organic way to kind of tie the two together, to kind of to kind of form that connective tissue. That worked for me very, very well.
Is there anything about the movie that you didn't like?
There were elements of it that were almost kind of blow by blow, just kind of recreations of its predecessor. The music sequence, which you could kind of argue, if you're going to put Bette Midler in a movie, you're going to have a music sequence. So on one hand, I kind of rolled with it, but it had similar beats to the first one that included, even the final conflict taking place in the woods or near like a graveyard, that sort of
I didn't
thing.
mind that because the woods at least made sense from the story. But that music thing, you're 100% right, because but I put a spell on you, and now you're mine. Her version of it is almost bigger than anyone else's version of it. So it's hard to recreate that magic.
Yeah,
I think I also preferred this version of One Way or Another to Blondie's, because I like, much as I've always liked Blondie, One Way or Another is like one of the few songs that I absolutely can't stand.
I was gonna say, it's really funny. I'm sorry, it was really funny. Like, saying with the song though is, they still put the same words from the first one.
Yeah, like the spell.
So I'm like, that was super cool. So it's like, yeah, it's a different song, but it's the same spell. So it's, it has very similar words. So, which it could, like you said, it could be a little bit good and bad. It's, because is it a little too much like the first one? But like you said, you have Bette Midler, you got to have at least one. I think this one had 2, music scenes in it. So
yeah. And I think the Walgreens product placement was a little weird for me.
I loved it. I loved it. Because, oh, look, a baby's face. She's haha, newborn. I was like, that's hilarious. They start eating it. I love them going to Walgreens. And then I was watching another video. I guess them going into a convenience store, like a Walgreens, was a deleted scene from the first one. So that was kind of interesting. So they like, oh, let's do it. I loved it when they went to the beauty products and then they took a picture with the kids and it had the filter. And I'm like, oh, you don't even think about it anymore. Of course, like they're like, oh my God, I look amazing. I was like, yeah, it's a filter. So
I have babies in this. This is crazy.
How many baby stools are in there? That whole I love that because I was cracking up the whole time. Especially when she has the mask. She goes, oh, look, a baby face. She goes, ah. And she like laughs. She goes, oh, newborn. Chomping at it.
That's terrible.
I don't know. But that is a thing I hear a lot. Is a lot of people didn't like that scene.
I thought that was hilarious. It was a little long, but I thought it was funny.
I think it was drawn up. There were parts of it I had fun with. excuse me. I think for me, it may have been a little bit drawn out.
Hmm.
It wasn't enough to hurt the movie at all. But
Now that we're talking about this, how about you guys? How about we rate this? You guys want to rate this?
You can
Yeah.
rate it.
All right. Well, with Spoiler Kings, guys, we rate things a little bit differently. We have it a now, which is you need to stop what you're doing. Don't stop our stream, but stop wherever you're doing and go out there and watch it right now. We got later. It's good, whenever you get a chance to stream it, this we will watch it, or never. You would not turn on the TV. If it was on TV and you went through it and clicked on it, you will eventually turn off your TV just because you don't want anyone to see it. That's what never means. So with that being said, what do you guys rate Hocus Pocus 2?
You want to go, Brandon?
Yeah, I'll go. Oh, we're in Halloween season. This is a now. This is a now. This is a now, especially for the month of October. You got this is required watching as far as I'm concerned for the month of Halloween. Especially if you're just looking for a fun time. If you're into Halloween like the three of us are, this is a required watch. Stream it on Disney Plus, borrow your friend's password, do whatever you have to do. Watch this one.
Words that Brady are saying are not part of the Nerd Huddle. Do not come after us to look for the Nerd Huddle. We're not saying share passwords at all.
Watch it legally. Share passwords with your family.
Yeah. Do watch parties.
Do watch parties.
Do a watch party. Do it within the bounds of reason.
On the bottom of the screen.
Yeah. Do it within the bounds of reason. No illegal downloadings. No Fire Stick. Nothing like that. But watch it now.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'll go next. I probably got to give it a now as well. I think the first one is definitely a now, like without doubt. And I think you can just continue with this one. As soon as number one's done, you put this one on, and I think it's you're gonna have the same vibe, and yeah, it was fun to watch. I think the ending was a better ending than the first one, I thought. People cried. People said they cried. I mean, you're not sitting there crying, bawling your eyes out. You get a little watery, especially like there are, girls out there who lost their sisters and stuff. And I saw them post. They're like, "Oh, that hit me deep." You know what I mean? Because they understand that feeling of like sister love and also like losing a sister. And that was like, oh, I don't think no one knew where it was gonna go at the end like that. You thought like, Turn to Stone or Sunrise again. It was like, oh no, this is choosing each other over living, so definitely a now, especially like you said in Halloween time.
Yeah. In addition to that, and I'll let you get to it as well, Brian. One thing that I was really, really happy about with this is, and Brian and I were talking about this on Friday with the first one. The whole reason that this movie happened was because of the fan base. Mm-hmm. Like this gained a really, really big cult following due to reruns on the Disney Channel and ABC Family. Before it was called Freeform or whatever it's called now. So I feel like the filmmakers, the writers, and the director Ann Fletcher, Mittler, Sanderson, and Najimy, they all really took that into account in crafting this sequel. Making it satisfactory enough for the fans, I thought. So they really handled it with care. They could have just crapped it out sideways and be like and been like, here's your sequel, watch it.
And we lost him. Oh yes, okay. I gotta say, I'm gonna definitely give it a now, but in a lot of ways, honestly, from my own opinion. So I watched with Derby. I watched Hocus Pocus 1. We watched that on the same type of way, a watch party. And Derby asked me a question. He said, "Does this movie hold up today?" And I said, it was really just kind of, it's very hokey. Kids today probably would not, watch it the same way. And I really feel like this movie is only about 35 to 40-year-olds are really the ones who watch this movie still because it's part of our childhood. This movie brings it to the new generation, but it also still held on for us 35 to 40-year-old kids to enjoy it because they held true to what it is to be Hocus Pocus.
Exactly.
I think that is a very big thing. But it gave you new story, and in a lot of ways, the story was better. This story with the backstory and understanding the sisterly love is better than the first one. And I love that part. I don't know if the friendship, the brother-sister thing from the first one is better, because you're fighting for your sister, your little sister. That's better than that first one. But in this one, the Sanderson sisters meant so much. And because of those things, I mean, this is not just a now. This is probably one of my favorite movies I've watched, any remakes I've watched in a long time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a remake, it's a sequel, but it's even Halloween. Like, I haven't seen the one like I've enjoyed this much in a long time.
Yeah.
So definitely a now for me.
Okay. Well, then real quick, or since we're done with the ratings, so the first thing I did, after the watch party, we did it. Yep. I was like, what are people saying about it? Because I think right after it, I know Derpy loved it, and then after the watch party, we were like, we love it, and we went online and it's not getting good praise. Yep. People are saying it's stupid, it sucks. Like the Roomba thing was stupid, the songs were stupid, it was too corny, too cringy. And I think I said it after the watch party. I was like, did you not watch the first one?
Exactly.
Did you not watch the first one? It was like the first one was corny and cringy, and them doing stupid, silly things. It's like it's a kids movie. And then two, it's a goofy movie. It's a silly movie.
It was the same hokey tone as the first one. You're not going into a Hocus Pocus movie expecting Christopher Nolan.
Exactly, man.
I think people are just haters nowadays, and that's why I'm saying, holding up, people just hate on stuff. There's always got to be someone saying something stupid. Oh, this is not good, or this was so stupid to do this, or this is so woke to do this. It's always someone saying those type of things. Exactly. So you're never going to please everyone. My only worry is that the rating would stop people from watching it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that.
So we're talking about rating. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 61%.
Mm-hmm.
Critics, right?
Critics don't like it.
What's the audience? Because I thought when I first saw that, I'm like, oh wow, that sucks. But the audience has got to be high, right? And
no,
yeah,
the audience is actually giving it 55%.
Yeah, which is insane. Because how I see it is like in '93 when we were younger, our parents and grandparents and the adults then were saying this movie's stupid. It sucks. It's corny. Bette Midler ruined her career. The Sarah Jessica
Parker's never going to do anything.
And then it becomes a cult classic. But now it's like we're the adults, and so many of our generation are saying what our parents said back then.
But I gotta say, do you remember Hocus Pocus did terrible in the movie theaters?
Yeah. It was a summer release. Who was trying to see a Halloween themed movie during the middle of summer? Yeah, it tanked, and like I said, it just gained a big cult following on reruns, which I'm actually happy that it did. And like I said, I used to scare really easily as a kid, and I remember seeing the trailer and being creeped out by the trailer. But then I saw it. I can't remember if I saw it in the theater or if I saw it when it came out on video. But I ended up absolutely loving it and watching it quite regularly. And it's just really amazing to me, how the fans basically breathe new life into it after the fact. I think that's really cool.
I think that's what happened before. And I think what happens that fans love to see things burn, and they just want to.
Yeah, and which is really unfortunate. It's so easy to go online and complain and piss and moan and be toxic. I'm not saying you have to like the movie, but it just seems like any and everything. There's someone complaining about something. It just. I'm almost at the point where I'm trying to like progressively ignore it because it's just getting way too toxic, and hell, it's a chore to read.
Yeah. It gets a little much on Twitter, but it's weird. Like on Twitter, like I'll look it up, and it's like for every like bad review, people are saying it's stupid. Like there's a lot of people are like, oh, I liked it, I enjoyed it, this was funny. It's good because it's silly, like the first one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it had the same campy, silly nature of the first movie, and people were complaining about that. Just like you said, Tank. Like, do you even first movie, bro?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we think about the movie, guys. I want to know what you guys think.
Yeah.
So we definitely need to get some comments in. I think this is one of those things that we have Halloween. I want comments this entire time. We're going to release this video. I want to see what you guys really think. I want you guys to like, subscribe, because that helps us get more content out there. But if you really love this movie, tell us. If you really hate this movie, I want to hear. I want to hear why you hate it or not hate it. I think this is one of those things that I was able to share with my children. I want to know if you're going to do the same thing with your kids. So, as I said, us 35 to 40-year-olds, this is what it is now, man. We love this stuff. Can we now share with another generation? But let me know what you guys think. Put in the comments. Me, Tank, and Brandon were always looking in, always trying to answer. So let us know.